من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبارك الذي نزل الفرقان على عبده ليكون للعالمين نذيرا. Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ramadan with Zidane. Today is the 18th of Ramadan and hope your Ramadan is going healthy, wealthy and wise. And everyone is reaping the rahmas and barakas of this beloved month. I hope everyone has been praying salat, giving zakat and been fasting on the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala steadfastly. As it is said in Surah At-Tawbah that إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. We are back in Surah At-Tawbah, which is the 9th surah of the Quran. It is 129 verses, and in sequence it is second last surah of the Quran to be revealed. It's 113, and it has, of course, 16 rukus, and the surah number is 9. So without further ado, we should start this surah. Again, as a little bit of context, this surah was revealed when the Treaty of Hudaybiyah was broken, and because of that, what happened was that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this down with divine anger, and because of this, normally we do not say Bismillah with this surah. So without further ado, let's start this surah. وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ أُزَيْرٌ ابْنُ اللَّهِ وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى الْمَسِيحُ ابْنُ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُمْ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ. And the Jews say that Uzair alayhi salam, or in English as it said Ezra, is the son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Christians, they say that Jesus alayhi salam or Isa alayhi salam is the son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يُدَايُونَ قَوْلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. This is ذَلِكَ قَوْلُهُمْ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ. These are the sayings of their own mouths. This is their own assertion. يُدَايُونَ قَوْلُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا مِنْ قَبْلِ. They are indeed saying the disbelievers of the old. This means that Bani Israel, who were before, they started making amendments, and in the end, the Injil, which was the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, got changed, it got amended. And this is why we cannot even find a true copy of the Injil. So we don't know in which language was it originally written. Or we can make a guess, it's either Syriac, Amharic, or Hebrew. اتخذوا أحبارهم. Now, very important verse. It is very important for the Muslim Ummah of today too. اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله والمسيح ابن مريم وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا إلها واحدا لا إله إلا هو سبحانه وما يشركون. And indeed, it's a very important verse. اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم. They took their saints and they took their prophets أربابا من دون الله. They took it as arbab, pillars aside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, والمسيح ابن مريم and Isa alayhi salam. Even though they were commanded that they worship only one Lord, now people who take other people like saints, pious people, even prophets as awliya over Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as protectors over Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is shirk and that is not allowed. And indeed, that is what those people as the Christians, the Jews, this is what they used to do. What is the thing that made them from those people who disbelieved? Because they were from the people from the Ahl al-Kitab, they were given the book, but indeed, they made the firqa, the sects between them. Now this is the same verse as it is in Surah Saf, the 61st surah of the Quran. يُرِيدُونَ أَن يُطْفِئُوا نُورَ اللَّهِ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ وَيَأْبَى اللَّهُ لِيُتِمَّ نُورِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. They try to dim the light of Allah, but Allah's light can never be dimmed. It will never be suppressed. هُوَ الَّذِي أَرْسَلَ رَسُولَهُ بِالْهُدَى. He is the one who sent his messengers with the guidance. وَدِينِ الْحَقِّ. And the true deen, لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ, to make itself dominant over all the false deens, or make it dominant over the people who are ghafil, who do not know of this, like it is in لَقَدْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَى أَكْثَرِهِمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ in Surah Yasin. And indeed, لِيُظْهِرَهُ عَلَى الدِّينِ كُلِّهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْمُشْرِكُونَ. And even if they disbelieve, do not like it, it will still happen. This is in Surah Sad, in that is وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. And in Surah Fat it is وَكَفَى بِاللَّهِ شَهِيدًا. So there's a little variation in the verses. Now, there's another one that's given over here. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا إِنَّ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْأَحْبَارِ وَالرُّهْبَانِ لَيَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ النَّاسَ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَيَصُدُّونَ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ يَكْنِزُونَ الذَّهَبَ وَالْفِضَّةَ وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَهَا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَبَشِّرْهُم بِعَذَابٍ أَلِيمٍ. O those who believe, indeed there are many of the Jewish rabbis. And that time this is addressing those Jewish people who used to live in Medina. There were three main tribes of the Jews: Banu Nadir, Banu Qaynuqa, and Banu Qurayza. Now Banu Qaynuqa was expelled very early, and then there was some trouble with Banu Qurayza, the fortress of Banu Qurayza. It is very easily described in Surah Hashr and what happened to them. And there was also Banu Nadir that was also expelled. Then they were expelled to a city in Saudi Arabia called Khaybar, and from there they were expelled out of the Arabian subcontinent. So indeed, many of these rabbis, they eat the wealth of people. There was basically this way, just like even in these days, the church became, or the synagogue, it became corrupt, and the priests and the rabbis in there, they started using the money for their own benefit. And indeed, on that day when when it is all about that, these people who eat this, give them a very painful torment. يوم يحمى عليها في النار يوم يحمى عليها في النار جهنم فتكوى بها جباههم وجنوبهم وظهورهم. And indeed, when they are going to be sent in the hellfire, the coins will be used to brand them on the, it was branding, meaning that heat it and place it on their skins to burn them. هذا ما كنزتم لأنفسكم فذوقوا ما كنتم تكنزون. Now, this is what you used to hold to yourself, other people's wealth. Now you taste what you hold it. Now, the next verse. إن عدة الشهور عند الله 12 شهرا في كتاب الله يوم خلق السماوات والأرض منها أربعة حرم. Indeed, the months, the number of months in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in accordance to the Islamic calendar, the months in a year are 12. There are 12 months in a year. So in the Islamic calendar, in the calendar that is the official calendar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are 12 months, the lunar calendar. Just like this, there is the Gregorian calendar, the sun calendar, it has 12 months. There are other calendars in the world that use many other months too. And again, it is about how these numbers are sacred, 1, 7 and 12. ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ. This is the true and steadfast deen. فَلَا تَظْلِمُوا فِيهِنَّ أَنفُسَكُمْ. So do not ruin yourselves in it. Like, do not ruin yourselves in astrayness, going away. وَقَاتُلُ الْمُشْرِكِينَ كَافَةً. And fight the disbelievers as a band. كَمَا يُقَاتِلُونَكُمْ كَافَ. As they fought against you collectively. وَعَلَمُوا أَنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. But there is a difference in it. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He is with the believers. إنما النسيء زيادة في الكفر يضل بالذين كفروا يهلونه عاما ويحرمونه عاما ليعطوا عدة ما حرم الله فيحلوا ما حرم الله زين لهم سوء عملهم والله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. Now over here what is said is that indeed the postponing of a sacred month in which fighting was prevented is indeed an addition to disbelief, because these disbelievers, they are led astray. They make it lawful in 1 year and they forbid it in 1 year, and if they adjust the months, number of months that were forbidden, and they make the forbidden ones lawful, and this makes them very pleasing to them, these deeds. Basically, they were the sacred months, and sometimes what happened was the disbelievers, they used to postpone these sacred months to another year, even though this was not what they were supposed to do. So they were supposed to observe the sacred months in every year, but they did not. They postponed it. Now, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O those who believe. Now you might remember in that time there were a lot of munafiqeen in the city of Medina. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O those who believe. Ma lakum, what is to you? إِذَا قِيلَ لَكُمُ انْفِرُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ أَثَاقَلْتُمْ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. When it is said to you to spend in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you stick yourself to the ground. You cling heavily to the earth. أَرَضِيتُمْ بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Are you pleased with this worldly life? مِنَ الْآخِرَةِ, from the other life. فَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. But this life is much little. And it is a hadith by the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam that indeed in paradise, a person, a believer, will see what no eye has ever seen, no ear has ever heard, and what no heart has ever thought of. Illa tanfiru, if you do not go, yu'azibkum azaban alima. You will be given a very painful torment, not in this life, in the hereafter. And on that day you will wish that you went forth. Now, this is very easily described in Surah Al-Fath. سَيَقُولُ لَكَ الْمُخَلَّفُونَ مِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ شَغَلَتْنَا أَمْوَالُنَا وَأَهْلُونَا فَاسْتَغْفِرْ لَنَا. They say that indeed our people have occupied us. Or they say, سَيَقُولُ الْمُخَلَّفُونَ مِنَ الْأَعْرَابِ إِذَا انطَلَقْتُمْ إِلَى مَغَانِمَ لِتَأْخُذُوهَا ذَرُونَا نَتَّبِعْكُمْ يُرِيدُونَ أَن يُبَدِّلُوا كَلَامَ اللَّهِ. They say that leave us, we can be excused. وَيَسْتَبْدِلْ قَوْمًا غَيْرَكُمْ. We talked about this in Surah Muhammad 2, all the way back, that indeed he will change you for another qawm. إِلَّا تَنْصُرُهُ, if you do not help him, فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ. If you, now it is about, now first we are talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now to Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. إِلَّا تَنْصُرُهُ, if you do not help him, فَقَدْ نَصَرَهُ اللَّهُ. Allah has already helped him. إِذْ أَخْرَجَهُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا ثَانِيَ اثْنَيْنِ. When the disbelievers drove the two out, this is about Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and Abu Bakr radhiyallahu ta'ala. These both were, of course, they were on their way to go to Medina. ثاني اثنين إذ هما في الغار إذ يقول لصاحبه لا تحزن إن الله معنا. Indeed, when he said in the cave to his companion, don't be fearful, Allah is with us. This is the incident that again, when Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was migrating from Medina, from Makkah to Medina, so what happened was that there was this very, there was a council between the disbelievers, and Shaitan was present, and he was in the disguise of Shaykh al-Jalil of Najd. and they made a council about how to drive out Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then indeed at one time they made this suggestion that they should probably kill him. They sent out youths to kill him, and all of the youths were of different tribes because they could not do retribution because every tribe was sent, so you could not pick it out against one tribe. So they were sent by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam already knew because of the revelation, and then he went out and he picked a handful of dust and he sprinkled it over the eyes of those who were sleeping, and he said the verse, he quoted the verse from Surah Yasin, وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْ بَيْنِ أَيْدِهِمْ سَدًّا وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ سَدًّا فَأَغْشَيْنَاهُمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. And then he went, and then of course in the cave they were there, and of course how the web was made in the kuffar, they couldn't see Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And of course Abu Bakr was a little fearful. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to Abu Bakr radhiyallahu anhu that La tahzan inna Allah ma'ana. Do not be scared, Allah is with us. Such was the trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. فَأَنزَلَ اللَّهُ سَكِينَتَهُ عَلَيْهِ. Then Allah sent his calmness upon them. وَأَيَّدَهُ بِجُنُودٍ لَمْ تَرَوْهَا. And he had them with the army you didn't see, the angels, the miracles. وَجَعَلَ كَلِمَةُ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا السُّفْلَى. And he made the word of the disbelievers low. وَكَلِمَةُ اللَّهِ عُلْيَا. And the word of Allah was uppermost. وَاللَّهُ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. Now, another very famous verse that is being often recited in charity drives. انفروا خفافا وثقالا وجاهدوا بأموالكم وأنفسكم في سبيل الله. March forth and strive with your wealth in donating, of course, that is one way, and your own self in fighting in the battle. ذَلِكُمْ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ إِن كُنتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. You would have been better for you if you would have known. Indeed, the next world is much better. In Surah Hadid 2. لَوْ كَانَ عَدَدًا قَرِيبًا. If they would have been a very easy journey, وَسَفَرًا قَاصِدًا, and a near gain, لَاتَّبَعُوكَ. They would have went with you, the people of weak heart. وَلَكِنْ بُعِدَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الشُّقَّةُ. But now this expedition that is being talked about, the distance was too long for them. This is the expedition of Tabuk. The expedition of Tabuk was the expedition, very important expedition, that was against Jews, that was against the disbelievers, and it was a very long expedition, the expedition of Tabuk. And because of that, most of the people, they left, they didn't go, and there was a mutiny, very important. وَسَيَحْلِفُونَ بِاللَّهِ لَوْ اسْتَعْطَنَا لَخَرَجْنَا مَعَكُمْ. And they swear with Allah, their false swear, these false oaths, that if we would have wanted, we would have come with you. They only destroy their own selves, and they are the persons who are the false ones. Afallahu akbar. May Allah forgive you. Why didn't you grant them leave for remaining behind? O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now again it's a little bit of a light scolding, that you shouldn't have let them go on behind. You would have forced them to come with you. لا يستأذنك الذين يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر. Those who believe in the last day and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not ask the leave like this. أن يجاهدوا بأموالهم وأنفسهم. That they will indeed fight, those people who are the true heart. إنما يستأذنك الذين لا يؤمنون بالله واليوم الآخر وارتابت قلوبهم فهم في ريبهم يترددون. Indeed, those who do not believe, who are weak of faith, who think they will be killed, or who have any other thing like this, they are the ones who say we will not go for jihad. And they wander in their own doubts. وَلَوْ أَرَادُوا الْخُرُوجَ لَعَدُّوا لَهُ مُدَّةً وَلَكِنْ كَرِهَ اللَّهُ بِعَثَهُمْ فَثَبَّتَهُمْ وَقِيلَ اقْعُدُوا مَعَ الْقَاعِدِينَ. And indeed, if they had intended to march out, they would have made some preparation for it. But indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made them a lag behind and made them from those who sit behind. Because indeed, these people, they were lazy and they were made to sit behind. If they had any good intention, they would have made preparation. لَوْ خَرَجُوا فِيكُمْ. If they would have went, now why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them sit back? لَوْ خَرَجُوا فِيكُمْ. If they would have gone with you, مَا زَادُوكُمْ إِلَّا خَبَالًا. And they only would have added disputes, like people like Abdullah ibn Ubay. وَلَا أَوْدَوْا خِلَالَكُمْ يَبْغُونَكُمُ الْفِتْنَةَ وَفِيكُمْ سَمَّعُونَ لَهُمُ اللَّهُ عَلِيمٌ بِالظَّالِمِينَ. And they would have just added more trial and fitna. لَقَدِ اتَّقَوُا الْفِتْنَةَ مِنْ قَبْلُ وَقَلَّبَ لَكُمُ الْأُمُورُ حَتَّى جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَارَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ هُمْ كَارِهُونَ. And they made a lot of plots before this. But indeed they were sent down. Like in Surah Mujadala, there was about the Najwa, that Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, indeed all those who believe, لا تتناجوا بالإثم والعدوان ومعصية الرسول وتناجوا بالبر والتقوى واتقوا الله الذي now إليه تحشرون. So a very, again that verse about how the munafiqun used to conspire. ومنهم من يقول أذن لي وتفتني ألا في الفتنة سقطوا وَإِنَّ جَهَنَّمَ لَمُحِيطَةٌ بِالْكَافِرِينَ. Those who say that grant me leave, they will be in the fire. إِن تُصِبْكَ حَسَنَةٌ تُصِيبُ. And if anything bad befalls you, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they will be, if anything good befalls you, they are going to be grieved. وَإِن تُصِبْكَ مُصِيبَةٌ يَقُولُوا قَدْ أَخَذْنَا أَمْرَنَا مِنْ قَبْلُ وَيَتَوَلَّوْا وَهُمْ فَرِحُونَ. And indeed, if something bad happens, for example, a defeat in battle, some personal loss, they are going to be happy about it. They rejoice behind your backs. It's now over here, a dua. قُلْ لَنْ يُصِيبَنَا إِلَّا مَا كَتَبَ اللَّهُ لَنَا وَمَوْلَانَا وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَلْيَتَوَكَّلِ الْمُتَوَكِّلُونَ mu'minun. And indeed nothing will happen to us except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained. As Laylatul Qadr is approaching, it's a very important thing to know. قُلْ هَلْ تَرَبَّصُوا بِنَا إِلَّا إِحْدَى الْحُسْنَيَيْنِ. Now, do you wait for anything for except the best two? Either إِحْدَى الْحُسْنَيَيْنِ. What are the two things? Either victory, or if not victory, martyrdom. وَنَحْنُ نَتَرَبَّصُ بِكُمْ. And we wait with you. وَأَنْ يُصِيبَكُمُ اللَّهُ بِعَذَابٍ عِنْدِهِ أَوْ بِأَيْدِينَا فَتَرَبَّصُوا إِنَّ مَعَكُمْ مُتَرَبِّصُونَ. That Allah gives you a torment. So you wait, we are also waiting. قُلْ أَنْفِقُوا طَوْعًا أَوْ كَرْهًا لَنْ يُتَقَبَّلَ مِنكُمْ. See, indeed spend in willingly or unwillingly. If your fate is like this, you are going to be recompensed. وَمَا مَنَعَهُمْ أَنْ تُقْبَلَ مِنْهُمْ نَفَقَاتُهُمْ. And indeed nothing prevents their contributions except their own self. إِلَّا أَنَّهُمْ كَفَرُوا بِاللَّهِ. That they disbelieved in Allah وَبِرَسُولِهِ وَلَا يَأْتُونَ الصَّلَاةَ. And they do not go to the salah, they do not go to the prayer. إِلَّا وَهُمْ كُسَالَى. Except they are lazy. And in the last in a previous state, sukara, they even used to go as a drunk state when alcohol was not prohibited. وَلَا يُنْفِقُونَ إِلَّا وَهُمْ كَارِهُونَ. And they only offer zakat unwillingly. فَلَا تُعْجِبْكَ أَمْوَالُهُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُهُم. So do not, in the next verses they're going to be وَلَا تُعْجِبْكَ أَمْوَالُهُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُهُم. فَلَا تُعْجِبْكَ أَمْوَالُهُم وَلَا أَوْلَادُهُم. So do not be very, فَلَا تُعْجِبْكَ, do not get any gaze, do not let them make you feel strange about it. So do not feel strange about this. Indeed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's plan, there is a plan from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will give them good things in this world. Try to make them, kulu wa tamatta'u qalilan, is it said in Surah Mursalat. But then you will indeed be caught on that day. وَيَحْلِفُونَ بِاللَّهِ إِنَّهُمْ لَمِنْكُمْ وَمَا هُمْ مِنْكُمْ وَلَكِنَّهُمْ قَوْمٌ يَفْرَقُونَ. And they swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the false oaths that they are from you, but they are not from you. They are another qawm. They are the munafiqun. لَوْ يَجِدُونَ مَلْجَأً وَمَغْرَةً أَوْ مُدَّخَلًا لَوَلَّوْا إِلَيْهِ وَهُمْ يَجْمَعُونَ. And indeed, if they find any kind of concealment during the war, they will rush towards it. وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَلْمِزُوكَ فِي الصَّدَقَاتِ فَإِنْ أُؤْتُوا مِنْهَا رَضُوا وَإِنْ لَمْ يُؤْتَوْا مِنْهَا إِذَا هُمْ يَسْخَطُونَ. And indeed, they talk about the matter of the booty, the alms. They say, give us more. If they are given from it, sometimes they are not given from it. There was a way of distribution. If they were not given from it, they are going to be grudgeful. And if they are given from it, then they are okay. وَلَوْ أَنَّهُمْ رَضُوا مَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ. And if they would have been happy with what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had given, indeed, Allah يَبْسُطُ الرِّزْقَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ وَيَقْدِرُ. وَقَالُوا, and would have said, حَسْبُنَا اللَّهُ. The thanks is to Allah. So, سَيُؤْتِينَ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ وَرَسُولَهُ. Indeed, He has given us with His grace that we are Muslims, we are going to go to Jannah. Inna ilallahi ragibun. Indeed, we are going towards Allah. إنما الصدقات للفقراء والمساكين والآملين عليها والمؤلفات قلوبهم وفي الرقاب والغارمين وفي سبيل الله وابن السبيل فريضة من الله والله عليم حكيم. Now, the sadaqat over here, it means only zakat. Zakat is only for the fuqara, the poor, the masakin, those who are the fuqara is those who are poor, and masakin, poor, there is a term for it. And those people who are having in debt, for example, those who are in debt, who cannot repay their debt, and those people who are the wayfarers, and in the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the mujahidun who are fighting. Indeed, this is what is a duty that is imposed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have to give it. It is a farz on every Muslim. 2.5%. Anyway, so that's where we're going to stop for today. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq, become from those who are from as-sabiqun, those who are the muqarrabun, fi jannatin na'im. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who are from the mu'mineen. The pro tip for today is that indeed Laylatul Qadr is approaching very fast, so we should try to get as much ibadah as possible. ربنا أتمم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير. ربنا لا تجعلنا فتنة للذين كفروا واغفر لنا ربنا إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.